All right. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Shalawama. Welcome to the free astrotheology course. Our textbook is the Astrology of the Old Testament, or the Lost Word Regained, published in 1892. As you can see, the author is Carl Anderson. Everybody see that? The author is Carl Anderson. All right. Okay, so welcome. Let's continue with Virgo. All right, Virgo is either going to be the first house or it will be listed as 0. So it'll go from 0 to 11, which is 12. Okay, or 1 to 12. All right. We left off in okay. So in the Gospel in the Stars, this is one of our supplementary textbooks, y'all. So I think the link to the free PDF is in the description. No, not the description, but in the community section. Okay, so y'all go to the community page, and you might be able to find this. But definitely the PDF is free. To the Astrology of the Old Testament, that's definitely there. So let's pick it back up. We're dealing with Virgo again, and let's make it do what it do. So here you'll see Virgo, the constellation Virgo. You'll see the Spica, that bright star in her hand. And you'll see the corn and wheat in her hands. So the seed is JC, the Christ figure, in the Christian dispensation of time. And JC calls himself the seed. We went through all of that. I lost my, did we go through Boots, y'all? Or Butez? I think we've discussed Butez. We discussed the double nature of Christ on page 21 and 22. So we must have left off on Butez. Bootes, pronounced Butez. So let's pick it up on page 22. So of course, Butez is a deacon of Virgo, which means that simply Butez is a constellation located next door to Virgo. All right, so each constellation has three next door neighbors, and those are called deacons. And that's right, that's where the name in the church comes from. The ecclesiastical position or title, deacon, it is purely astrological, therefore astrotheology. Okay, so the Christians are practicing unknowingly or unbeknownst to them astrotheology. Okay, I'm talking about the masses of people. 99.99% of the pastors and reverends know, because most of them are Freemasons, or at least they were introduced to the information. Whether they read it or not, that's a different story. Or whether they listen, that's a different story. Okay, but everybody knows it if they are a secret society member. And 99.99% of the religious leaders in the churches, in the camps, the Hebrew Israelite camps, the mosques and the temples, are all Freemasons, whether they will acknowledge it or not. All right, it just is what it is. Okay, and they're not going to tell you that. So this is nothing new to them. All right, so page 22, Bootes, Bootes, the third deacon of this sign, the third deacon of Virgo, still further expresses and defines the marvelous story. Do y'all remember what the marvelous story is? The mother and child, and then the child who is in the Christian dispensation is JC, the Christ figure, the Son, the S-O-N Son, who is the S-O-N Son, and he's coming to save the world, all right, to save you. All right, that's the religious story. He's coming as a savior. All right, that's the marvelous story. Anyway, let's continue. One of the most common, constant, and expressive figures under which Christ is presented in the scriptures is that of the Oriental shepherd. All right. Isaiah foreannounced him, that means prophesied about him, as he who, quote, shall feed his flock like a shepherd. Shall feed his flock like a shepherd, end quote. Peter describes him as the shepherd and bishop of our souls. He says of himself, quote, I am the good shepherd that giveth his life for the sheep, end quote. Here's another quote. I am the good shepherd and know my sheep and am known of mine. In other words, end quote. In other words, his sheep know him. Another quote. My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me, and I give unto them eternal life, and they shall never perish, neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand, end quote. And this feature of what pertains to the Virgin's son, to Virgo's son, S-O-N, is the particular topic of this deacon. In other words, the topic of Butez is the shepherd who has sheep, and the sheep know him, and he knows his sheep, and the sheep listen to his voice. All right, that's the common theme across all Christian denominations, right? But there's a few things I want to touch on. Oriental sheep. Oriental means of the east. Now there may be some nuances of the meaning. I'm charging my my mobile phone, so I can't look it up. But when it charges up a little bit, we'll take a look at Oriental. The other thing here is Christ is a title. Christ and Messiah are different meanings. Y'all should look it up. Christ comes from Christos, or the oil. This is when back in the day when I was a little boy, our our aunts and uncles, mothers, grandmothers, great-grandmothers, they would fry food using Crisco, lard, animal lard. Okay, animal lard. And then, of course, that was scandalized by a industry, which I won't say because they'll flag or either take this video down. I know from past experience. But that was flagged. That is, the animal lard was flagged as being unhealthy due to cholesterol. Raise your cholesterol levels and cause you to have a TRAEH, I'm spelling it backwards, attack. All right, y'all? And I can tell y'all that many, let me try to word this carefully. There are many researchers who disagree that cholesterol causes those type of attacks, if y'all know what I mean. But y'all know cholesterol is needed. It's very much needed. Y'all check into this issue about cholesterol, okay? And you will see what the real deal is on how you've been deceived. Okay? What else? So Christ is Christos or Crisco oil. The oil. Okay? The oil. And that has a physiological, well, let me rephrase that. In the New Testament, Christ, you know, these books are encoded. So one of the codes have to do with physiology. And Christos, there's a story behind the Christos or the oil that rises from the lowest part of your spinal column, the sacrum, and goes up on a 30-day basis. Okay, that oil goes up into the ventricles in your brain, and it produces an effect, okay, a very healthy and positive effect if you live a certain kind of lifestyle. But I'm not going to get into that right now, what that lifestyle is. Just know that Christ and Messiah are different terms. So the S-U-N Son takes on the title of the Christ at the summer solstice, which is June 22nd, thereabout. So now remember, summer solstice, June 22nd, winter solstice, December 22nd. So we have here one line with each solstice at the extreme opposite end of the line. Summer solstice representing the higher self. So the sun reaches its highest elevation in the northern part of space, or the northern part of the sky, all right? Which means that you can see everything, right? The sun rays are beaming everywhere, so you can see everything, okay? So the sun representing, metaphorically, intelligence and good, okay? So higher self. And then, of course, the winter solstice, December 22nd, the sun is at its lowest point in the southern part of space or the heavens, and darkness dominates. And darkness is metaphorically thought of as evil. Okay, why? Because people do things in the dark. They do things when there's a shadow, right? Or when they think people are not looking. So that's when crimes will be committed. All right, y'all, so that's the lower self, the lower self. So when a man begins to stop doing the things that he knows he should not do, that are wrong, he knows that his nature tells him that they are wrong. I'm not talking about religious beliefs. Just your inner nature tells you that's wrong, don't do that, right? The universal morality that that was spoke about in the clock of destiny, and in the clock of destiny that we looked over. Okay, y'all, C.M. Bay, that he talked about the universal morality or law of morality. No matter where you go in the world, everybody knows is that's right or that's wrong. Doesn't matter about the culture or the traditions, okay? So when a person starts to live harmonic with that or harmonic with nature, they begin to rise up, So higher self and lower self exist on opposite ends of the same line. So that's the law of opposites, which is the Hermetic law of polarity. And moving up or down, right? Moving to the higher self or the lower, or the higher self moving down to the lower self. This is due to a lesser. They're playing music. They might take the video down. Where was I? Well, anyway, the phenomena called transmutation, and that transmutation is movement, up or down. Okay, transmutation, the phenomena of movement, transmutation. That's going to be done by your thoughts and behavior. Okay, your ability to go from lower self to higher self, or higher self to lower self. Okay, so to go from debased, to go from Negro, black, colored, Christian, Muslim, whatever religious type of devotee you are, it's foul. It's foul meaning it's out of harmony with nature. Okay? And to move up, that would be called transmutation. That would be done through your thought, through your thoughts, higher self thoughts, and through your behavior. Okay? And so once you have a pattern of thinking and behaving in such a way, it produces habits. Okay? So that is referred to as cosmic habit force. Cosmic habit force. Okay? So that now you no longer have to be conscious of making a change. You've thought in such a way so long, and you've behaved in such a way so long that now it's habit. So cosmic habit force. Okay, cosmic habit force, of course, which is related to the Hermetic law of cause and effect. Okay, so when you think a certain way and you behave a certain way, so that's a cause put in action, right, y'all? And it's going to have an effect. The effect is the behavior, and then the behavior reinforces the thought or thought pattern, and then those thought patterns magnify, multiply, which reinforces the behavior or produces more of that behavior. So that is involving the law of cause and effect. Okay, now once it becomes a habit, that's what the Hermeticists will say, polarizing. You polarize. Wherever that habit is, that's where you are polarized at. Okay, y'all? That's where you're polarized at, meaning you're going to stay there by the law of cosmic habit force. You don't have to think about it. It's almost like if you play basketball, right? You practice a certain shot enough, you get to the point where you don't have to think about it. You can get into the game and you do that shot. It's muscle memory. It's habit. No thought. No thought. You don't have to think about it. It's all done subconsciously without you having to think about it or even be aware that you're doing it. Okay? So we move up through transmutation to become the Christ. Now, that's going to activate that holy oil, that Christos that we talked about, the Christ. The oil will rise. Okay? The oil will rise. Then that higher self, you become the Christ. Now, I know I'm giving a very broad description of that, but I just want you to see the distinction between Christ and Messiah. All right? Anyway, let's keep it moving. Next paragraph. We here have the figure of a strong man, that's Butes, whom the Greeks named Butes, the plowman, the plowman. Remember, if I remember correctly, y'all, he's plowing with the Big Dipper, okay? But he and so-called plow are set in opposite directions. Oh, they're set in opposite directions. Neither does a man plow with an uplifted hand in the attitude of this figure. He's plowing in the opposite direction. So what do y'all make of that? What do y'all make of that? But he and his so-called plow are set in opposite directions. Neither does a man plow with uplifted hand in the attitude of this figure. He's got his hand up. How are you going to plow? The name thus transformed into Greek has in it a Hebrew and Oriental root. B-O, bo. Y'all got that? Hold on. Oh, I have to adjust. Hold on, y'all. Why am I? I have to make a change. Hold on. All right. Something ain't right. Hold on, y'all. Okay, here we go. Y'all know what it is. They have this huge TV, and it's blinking. A bunch of different lights are flashing, and it's affecting my ability to read the text. So hold on. What am I? Let me see. Maybe I'm gonna have to move. Hold on, y'all. I think I'm gonna have to move. It's too bright. Oh, by the way, do y'all know what damages your eyes? Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, y'all. Well, there goes that plan. But the flashing lights and blinking lights and all of this stuff when you use a computer, it's terrible for your eyes. And then going from paper to a screen, it's very destructive for your eyes. But this is extreme. But anyway, we'll make it through it. And I think next time, if it's this time of the day, I'm going to choose another place to sit. So let me see. Maybe, hold on. Sorry, y'all. So it's reflecting off the back of my glasses, and I can't see. I'm seeing, just light. Hold on. Let me try it this way. I'm seeing just a glare, rather. All right. So where were we? You know what, y'all? I can't continue like this. I'm gonna stop the video, and I'll come back another day because it's interfering with my ability to read the text and to focus. So we'll pick back up on page 22. Maybe I'll come back in a couple hours depending on how I feel. But right now it's just this is just too much. Assalamu alaikum, Islam to all the Moors. My apologies, y'all. I'll see y'all in the next one.